So now in follow-up to the last video I just did, we're super excited to kick this one off. This is Ben Tarwater. He's our Director of Development. He's running the Exeter Estate, this incredible build. So much detail in this build, especially on the exterior. You're gonna see some amazing details, very unique to here in Phoenix in the Arcadia area. Something you see in Texas, the architects from Texas. You know, we're using SHM architecture out of Dallas. We have Caroline Cesare, who's here local. Amazing details. Ben's gonna show you what's happening right now.
My name is Ben Tarwater, and I'm a project manager for A Finer Touch Construction. Welcome to Exeter Estate. Today we'll talk about the coordination between electrical, fire sprinklers, lighting, heating and cooling, things like that to mesh with the design of the projects. An example would be if we look at the ceilings here, we have beams that run up the rakes of the ceiling, but we have to coordinate the heating and cooling, the fire sprinklers, in this case, audio speakers, etc., within these spaces. If we look between the beams in this scenario, we have a truss that runs right down the center or very near the center as it relates to the heating and cooling registers. So the way we overcame that in this scenario was we took the supply, we put it to where it was offset, but then we built an area for the grill to where the grill itself would be centered between the two beams. It takes that type of coordination and thought beforehand, before they install it, to make sure that the finished product looks like we took the time to put things in the right place. No one wants to see a register that's not centered in either the room or the space that it's sitting in. Just one of the things that we always do on every A Finer Touch project. As you're looking at the heating and cooling, you may see these orange pipes. That is a fire sprinkler system. Those are also centered between the beams as well. You may see that they are placed centered between the beams. In most cases, we have to put them in certain spots, so we may have to add additional ones to make sure that we can center them like we want for the finished product. Also, as you see up there, you may see electrical wires. You see yellow, white, black, orange, and then some heating and cooling runs. Those different colors are going to represent the different types, 3-ways, a single pole, a 220, and things like that, or whether they're home runs to another area. That tells the electrician what they are, where they're going, and at the end of each of those runs, they'll all have them labeled with a marker. In addition to that, we have speaker wires that you can see up here, and we've done a nice job here centering these in between the windows. Again, so that finished product always looks like it's something that we took the time to think of beforehand. Home runs are where we take the electrical wire from its end place, an outlet or an appliance, etc., and we take it all the way back to the electric funnel without it jumping off of other outlets in sequence as it goes back to the panel. Then lastly, as we saw up there, the black line that is wrapped in foam, that's an AC condensation line, and that's running from the heating and cooling units that are in the attic to the supply lines outside where they're going to sit the condensing unit. This home has 6 different heating and cooling units within the main home, a heating and cooling unit in the guest house, and then 2 heating and cooling units in the car barn. So a total of 9. We've talked about the heating and cooling, the fire sprinklers, and some electrical wires. Now we can transition and talk about how we plan out the lighting that goes throughout the home. If you look up in the ceiling here, you'll see that we have can lights in these black boxes. Those, again, have been positioned to be centered between the beams. And then there are electrical fixture boxes where we'll hang chandeliers from. In addition to that, we still have some wiring that we've dropped, but we haven't put the boxes in for chandeliers that will hang in the clerestory windows as well. Now we're in the kitchen here at Exeter Estate, and one of the challenges we found in here is that we have beams that are chalked out on the floor. The reason we chalked them out on the floor is we have to coordinate not only the beams to make sure that they're centered within the room, but lighting fixtures, and again, the fire sprinklers and the heating and cooling registers. So by chalking out the lines on the floor, we're able to break it up into smaller pieces so that those trades can properly place their equipment overhead. Most of the time, we're able to find a way to get them centered based upon the chalk lines, but sometimes we're going to have to move things to recenter them or add a row of can lights in some instances because there may be a beam or truss that cannot be moved for structural reasons. Again, just another way that we always go about thinking ahead, planning out, and then talking to our trades before we just start installing the product. Thanks for joining me at Exeter Estate today. Look forward to seeing you next time.